as well. Very potent system pushing through the area right now. So let's talk about the rest of your day and then about that snow chance that's coming our way on Wednesday and Thursday. So today, the big weather story is going to be the thunderstorms and the rain, but also the damaging wind threat. We can't emphasize this enough. So rain and isolated storms possible. We could see winds gust up to 60 miles per hour. It will be windy, especially between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. Look for the rain to end by 5 o'clock. And then, of course, all eyes on Wednesday and Thursday as we watch that snow chance come through the area. So this is later today. This is at about 2 o'clock or so. At this point, you're noticing maybe a break in the rain over D.C., but this is the next line that will have to come through the area. So that'll be over Winchester and Martinsburg by 2:10, and then between 2 and 5, it'll push over the metro. You're noticing the snow over western Maryland, where blizzard warnings are in effect around the Oakland area. If your travels do need to take you through that area, I would say maybe hold off and wait a bit before this to clear up, because they're going to have strong winds blowing around along with the snow falling. You're going to see several inches adding up there as well. Once we get past the 5 o'clock hour, we do see the rain move out. But take a look at these wind gusts. This is at 2:30 today. You'll easily see those winds gusting upwards of 50 miles per hour in D.C., a 53 mile per hour gust possible in the Gaithersburg area. We could also see winds gusting up to 51 miles per hour in Leesburg. And we could really see this anywhere across the region. At times, you could even get a wind to gust up to 60 miles per hour. That's going to be enough to do some damage. It could knock out power. It could help some tree branches snap or break. So do be careful of that. Hopefully you've already brought in your patio furniture or anything loose, because anything that's not secured, once these winds really start to kick up, will certainly have some impacts. They will be blowing around. So, and also, if you still have power now, it's a good time to keep your devices charged, especially if you have the WUSA9 app. You can keep up with us with all the latest updates. Even if you lose power, if your phone is charged up, you'd still be able to get helpful and potentially life-saving information in your area. All right, so moving through the rest of the day, we will see the winds get a bit breezy still after midnight tonight, but they won't be quite as strong as what we're seeing now. So this is going to go until 10 o'clock tonight. All these areas in the darker orange color are included in the high wind warning that we are seeing. From there, we turn our attention to Wednesday because we are going to see colder air in place along with that snow coming Wednesday and Thursday. I'm going to walk you through two models, give you my analysis, and then tell you what to expect for later on in the week. So here's the system right now. This is what I've been watching in the trends, a slight jog to the south. So some of the heavier bands, it doesn't mean we're not going to get heavy snow, but some of the heaviest ones have drifted a little bit more to the south. New data is actually coming in right now. In fact, when I get off of here, I'm going to go and analyze that and put out some more updates on our website. But it was still coming in and hadn't gotten to Thursday and Wednesday just yet. So I decided to come on and give you guys an update just while that data is pouring in. But here's what I'm seeing right now. This system comes in, taps into some moisture, pushes off to the south and the east of us by Thursday morning. On the back edge, we still have a little snow left over before this clears out by Thursday afternoon. This is really going to strengthen as well as it pulls away from us and continue to cause problems all up and down the eastern seaboard. So let's dive into what's going to be happening for us. This is the GFS model, the American model. It shows that by 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, you could see a few light flurries, but honestly, it is in the afternoon that we begin to see those real heavy bands that will cause snow to accumulate coming in. So this is at 8:30, but you can see by 12:50, 1 o'clock, some of the darker blue bands. That's an indication of the heavier snow that'll be coming in. That's with us on Wednesday afternoon. This is Wednesday, 5:45. That afternoon drive is going to be snowy, and it's likely going to be snow. At this point, we will likely have some snow that'll be piling up on roads that have not been treated. We'll begin to see that. Look at this darker blue band. That's the indication of the heavier snow. The darker the band, the heavier the snow. We can see that Wednesday at 5:45 p.m. This is your Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Snow machine still cranking out that snow. Heavier bands still around D.C. and Point South, especially this area around southern Maryland into the lower eastern shore into Ocean City. Those areas in the last few hours have sort of become the bullseye for the even higher snow amounts, as you'll see with the outlooks. And then here's your Thursday morning, 5:30 a.m. We're still looking at snow by 11 o'clock or so. You see that pushing over to the east as the system pulls away, but continues to trek along the the eastern seaboard. Now let's look at the European model, because this particular model has been much more aggressive with the snow amounts. It's given higher amounts. Initially, I thought those amounts were a bit too high, and they have come down a bit in the last few days, but it's still going to be an impactful snow. So here's what we're looking at. This is your Wednesday. One of the differences between the Euro and the GFS is the timing. This starts at way later. This is at 12:30, and we've barely seen a flake here. So the Euro starts off a bit later, but continues to show those heavier bands coming in. So by 4:30, we would have snow across the area on the Euro, and you can see those darker blue bands setting up shop, especially around Fredericksburg. So if you're around Stafford, I would expect to be on the higher scale end of this particular snow event. This is at 10:15 Wednesday night. Thursday morning, still waking up to some heavier bands of snow, similar to the GFS. You see DC and points south and east with those heavier bands. That's what that darker blue color is. And this is now looking like the area where we'd see some of those higher amounts. Now, I should say that we still have time on the clock for this forecast to be adjusted. So what you're seeing now is the latest information we have, but more model runs will come in, and more models will have those to work with, because we have some long range models, and then we have some models that are only good for a few days out. Those models are going to start to weigh in on the situation, and then we're really going to get an even better grasp on the exact impacts and amounts. This is Thursday at 10:15 a.m. on the Euro, and then this is Thursday afternoon by 3:45. Both models kicking it out of here by then. Now let's talk totals and the potential for those totals. This is a look at the Euro model. It has long since been the model that tried to give us the biggest amount of snow. I can tell you that it has backed off some of the highest totals. A day or two ago, this model was giving us 24 inches of snow. 2 feet of snow this model was giving us. Now, today, it is backed off of that substantially. So the range now is north areas 4 inches, still upwards of 12 inches, though, on the Euro. 4 to 12 there is the overall range on the European model. And this would be Thursday at 8:30 a.m., and that would be sort of the tail end of some of the accumulating snow. Now, the GFS model hadn't been quite as high. It had been giving us somewhere around maybe 4 to 10 inches of snow on the GFS. So that one wasn't quite as high as the Euro. Right now, what I can say is that will likely be a 5-inch or more type of system, because if we get this to continue to trek a little bit further to the south, that's going to lower the snow amounts that we'll be seeing around the area. So for the snow meter, is this likely? Absolutely. This is becoming more and more likely that we're going to see snow. We are still trying to determine the exact amount, because we are watching a trend in the track of this, and that has a huge impact on how much snow that we can see around the area. All right, so again, headline: snow Wednesday through Thursday. Right now, early outlook, I'm going to say at least 5 inches across the area. We could see obviously more than that given the track of this. That snow will be heavy at times, so a lot of snow falling in a short amount of time. It will quickly cover roads, and that is the main impact. So what should you do right now? I would say now is still a good time to prepare. We know that when snow of 5 inches or more comes across the area, that schools close or let out early. Maybe you could start thinking about some arrangements you could make if you're going to be in those situations, and maybe how you're going to get to and from work once we see that. So we'll be watching. Now, if we continue to see this trekking further and further south, those snow amounts are going to continue to come down. So something to keep in mind. Here's a quick look at the 7-day forecast, and then we're going to re-rack this again and go through this again for people who are just joining us, whether you're joining us on WUSA9 or on YouTube, or if you're streaming us on WUSA9 Plus. We are glad to have you with us. Happy to give you a heads up about what is happening across the area. So 62 is our high today. President's Day Monday is looking good with temperatures around 40. We're at 38 degrees on Tuesday. You see that cold air settling in at 30 degrees on Wednesday. This is a pure snow. Shouldn't be any mixing here. This is pure snow, all snow. Once it gets started, the snow machine continues to crank on until Thursday. Temperatures around 33. Nice area of high pressure coming in for next weekend, and we do begin to dry out there. So I'm just going to go back through all of what I said for everyone who is just joining us. We are tracking some rain right now across the area, and we're also tracking the potential for some snow to make its way across the region as well for Wednesday and Thursday. And we have damaging wind in the forecast today as well. I know everybody wants to get to the snow, and I'm going to come back to this, but I don't want a tree branch to fall on you and not have the proper warning about that. So let's just recap what we're seeing now on radar and what we're going to see later on today. So just going back to the radar, you'll notice that we do have some rain out there. Really was pouring. We had some heavier downpours that have made their way into the area. All the severe thunderstorm warnings that we had that were south of D.C., most of those have expired. There's still one just outside of Richmond and one outside of the Norfolk area as well. This is the main line right here. You can see it's now about to push along the eastern shore. So if you're in the St. Michael's area, if you are around areas such as Easton, get ready for that heavy rain to come in because this is moving out of Anne Arundel County and on to the eastern shore. All right, we're going to zoom in here just a little bit and show you what's happening in the immediate D.C. metro area. We can see that Fredericksburg still picking up on some light showers, La Plata, even through D.C., Montgomery County, Prince George's still picking up on some of the lighter showers. We do still have some areas of heavy rain along Leonardtown and Dunkirk, and this is moving toward Easton and the eastern shore. So be prepared for that. Now, this line that's pushing through right now, it does have some gusty winds associated with it, which is why the National Weather Service issued that warning earlier. But we can see all severe thunderstorm warnings except for one just not far out from the Reedsville area. That is one of the only ones that we do have left. So this is what we're looking at here. We'll go through that one and just show you that warning that's moved its way across the area as well. So big weather story today is that we do have that threat for damaging wind in the forecast. That's going to be the big story along, obviously, with that rain that you just saw. So recapping here, rain and a few isolated storms. Everybody doesn't get a storm, but it's possible. We have quite a dynamic weather situation going on. We have the warm front that's lifted first, and then following that, we're going to have that cold front come through. So it's sort of going to be a clash of the air masses coming in and really disrupting the atmosphere. And then behind that front, strong gusty winds, especially this afternoon and evening between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m. You could have winds that could easily gust upwards of 60 miles per hour. That could be enough to snap some tree branches, even cause some power outages across the area. And then, of course, we're looking at the rain ending by 5 p.m., but then we turn our attention to that snow come Wednesday and Thursday. All right, here's the rest of Futurecast. You can see that this first wave continues to move on, and then by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll get that second wave to come in. This is going to be around Martinsburg by 2:20 p.m. and between 2 and 5 we'll see the last tail end of it pass across D.C. and by 5 o'clock we're done. But Western Maryland, blizzard warning going on for the Oakland area. In these areas we have not only snow but those strong winds, right, blowing that snow around. So we do want to caution you, if you have travel plans heading in this direction, you may want to hold off on them just until this calms down later this evening and tonight. Now let's look at the wind gusts that are going to be whipping up across the area. You can see by 2:30 in the afternoon, winds easily gusting up to 50 miles per hour in D.C. Look at this, around Salisbury and Ocean City, could see some 60 mile per hour wind gusts. And we could see 60 mile per hour wind gusts in other areas of the region as well. So just be prepared for that. Loose items, trash day might be tomorrow. Maybe you just wait till these winds relax and take it out early in the morning instead of having it sitting there and the potential for your trash to blow around everywhere. That wouldn't be good for you or your neighbors. Just things to keep in mind. Patio furniture, the umbrella, if you still have that up, especially if you've got a rooftop patio, you want to go ahead and bring that down, right? You don't want the wind blowing that around. It blows off the patio, injure someone. Not a good deal there. So these winds will continue, especially between 2 p.m. and 10 p.m., the strongest winds. And then even after that, it is still going to be breezy outside for the rest of the night and through Monday as well. So we do have a high wind warning issued for the area. All these areas in this darker orange color are under that high wind warning. Look for gusts, as I just showed you, upwards of 60 miles per hour. This is going to go until 10 o'clock tonight. So wind, of course, is the big story today, and then we turn our attention to the snow chance coming on Wednesday. Right now, we still have a shot at getting measurable snow across the area. What we're still trying to determine exactly how much, because we have seen a change in the track, and we're going to watch more model runs to see if that change is just a one-off change or if that's going to be the trend moving forward, because depending on the track, that impacts how much snow we can see. I will tell you that what I've seen lately is some of the heavier bands setting up shop just along and south of D.C. So right now, my early thinking is that this is going to bring us at least 5 inches of snow. Depending on where the heavier bands set up shop, it definitely will be more in some areas. So let's take a look at each model by the hour. So this is going to be the GFS model. You can see that it starts us off as early as 8:30 on Wednesday morning. And one of the differences that I'm seeing between the models is that the GFS starts off a little bit earlier than the Euro. The Euro is more like 3-4 o'clock Wednesday. The GFS is more like 8 o'clock in the morning. Those are little details that we can continue to sort out in the next few hours, but this doesn't even look like much but flurries anyway. By 12 o'clock, the GFS has snow across most of the area. Pay attention to the color of these bands. The darker the blue, the heavier the snow. That's what we're going to get hit with on Wednesday afternoon. Look at this. By Wednesday at 5:45, everybody's getting some snow. And this area right here from D.C., Ocean City, Leonardtown, up through Richmond, throughout both of the models continue to be the area where some of those heavier bands seem to be concentrated. And that's where I'm looking at those areas to get the higher snow amounts. This is GFS, 11 o'clock at night, still some snow. Thursday morning, 5:30 a.m. Yep, snow still going. Even though the system is starting to pull away from us on the back edge, we'll still be getting some snow until at least early Thursday afternoon. Let's look at the European model because this one starts the snow off later. It doesn't start it off till the afternoon, later in the afternoon, and it has been more aggressive on bringing some of those heavier bands right over the metro. But I will say in between today and the last few runs, it has pulled back on those numbers just a bit, but still bringing an impactful snow across the area. Here's your Wednesday, 12:45 on the European model. You can see snow around Culpeper, but we're still dry in D.C. By 4 o'clock, we see that snow then making its way across the metro, and then once it starts, it just keeps going. Heavier bands start to set up shop, especially Wednesday night. So by Thursday morning, we are waking up to several inches of snow on the ground. This one has a much more heavier bands, kicking a lot of moisture our way. This is at 10 o'clock in the morning on the Euro, and then by Thursday afternoon, it's out, but we're still left with the snow. So let's talk about how much we could see. So here is the GFS model. It has always been around this range from 4 to about 8 inches, with the heavier bands along the eastern shore in southern Maryland giving anywhere from 10 to 12 inches or more. Puts the bullseye a little bit further south of D.C. I kind of like this trend, especially given the potential for the track to be a little further south. This makes sense to me, and that's why for now I'm going 5 inches or more, but there are more models I want to look at. I want to look at the NAM, the North American model, and I don't have the data on that yet because it's not out yet. It's a shorter range model. So once that comes in, I'll be able to get a better grip on it, and the whole weather team will, because we'll have more information to work with. But let's look at the Euro model, because this same model just yesterday was giving us 24 inches of snow. Oh, how it has come down from there. Now the range is 4, but still up to 10 to 12 inches. So it's still a higher range than the GFS, and it does put that bullseye right over D.C. and then Easton, Cambridge, La Plata, where you could see anywhere from 12 inches or more in its bullseye. So again, the track of this is going to be paramount in figuring out who gets what, because if we see it shift a little further south, that's going to drag those totals down a little bit. If we see it shifting a little further inland, that brings those heavier bands a little further north, and then we do end up getting clobbered with much more snow than we'd probably like to see around here. But right now, what I'm saying is that we're looking at least 5 inches or more. And you want to know the snow meter. Is this possible? Is it a long shot? No, this is very likely. We're definitely looking at some snow coming in on Wednesday and Thursday. The scenario is going to be playing out, and we're looking at snow that we know will be impactful to the area. So again, headlines: snow Wednesday through Thursday. Right now, at least 5 inches of snow broad brushed across the region. If you're further north along the Maryland-Pennsylvania border, you might be on the lower end of this, but at least 5 inches, and this snow will be heavy at times. I just showed you those bands. Those bands, that darker blue color, they could put down a lot of snow in a short amount of time. Really heavy snow, inches just adding up very quickly, and so we do have to be mindful of that. Again, before I got on here, I was watching new data come down, but it hadn't gotten to Wednesday, Thursday just yet. By the time we wrap up here, I know that data will be in. I'm going to go off of here and analyze that and then put more updates out on WUSA9.com. So it'll always be there. You'll have the very latest. As those fresh numbers come out, we're going to put them out for you to keep you on top of what's going to be happening. We'll conclude with a look at the 7-day forecast. Along with the showers and storms today, we are well above average for our daytime highs, topping out around 62 degrees before that cold air comes in, takes us back down to 40 for President's Day. It will be a very nice day to enjoy. We'll be still a little breezy, but a nice day to enjoy. And then 38 degrees on Tuesday. We're cold there. Bitter cold sets up shop Wednesday through Thursday with temperatures in the low 30s. We're looking at snow on Thursday, especially in the afternoon, and snow on Thursday, mainly in the morning. Should clear out by the afternoon. We're at 36 Friday and 37 Saturday. This has been a WUSA9 Weather Impact Update.